You know, I was doing my homework for this ranking list, and I think I'm gonna put Unalaq right at the top. What's going on, you guys? James here, and today, yes, I'm gonna go ahead and rank all of the major characters in Book 2 of The Legend of Korra. Just like I did with Book 1, we're gonna take a look at some of these major characters, and I'm gonna place them in the great, good, I think there's a decent category, and then forgettable, because there are some characters here that are just totally forgettable. But before we get into that, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the big red button below and subscribe to the channel. Tap on that bell as well, just to stay up to date with anything new. This week, we got new Legend of Korra reactions for Book 3 on Tuesday and Thursday. I'm so excited for that. And if you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button and get loud in the comments below and show me your list. Who is at the top for you and who's at the bottom? Alrighty, guys, well, let's go ahead and build this tier list together. I'm very nervous for how some of you might react to where I place these characters. Alrighty, guys, so in no particular order, we're going to start with Aang, adult Aang. He's grown. So I don't know necessarily where I want to place him, definitely not in the great category. However, he had that amazing one-on-one conversation with Tenzin in the Fog of Lost Souls. And because of that, you gotta give him some props. So I'm still gonna put him in the, well, you know what? Nah, guys, let's put him in the decent category, because when you think of good to great characters, they have to have meaningful impact for their entire season, and I felt like maybe his only contribution was to help Tenzin get over the hump, essentially, in that one episode. So let's move on to Asami. This is my girl. Alright, I love Asami so much. I know you guys do too, but I'm not gonna lie, guys, just like I said in my Book 2 review, the writers didn't do her justice. It almost felt like she was a side character when they propped her up in Book 1 to be a main character. So I still like her a ton, but in this season, in the context of this season, I would just have to put her in good, even though I did give her the great category for my Book 1 ranking. Oh boy, that hurts me. Alrighty, this character is so funny. The I spirit character, it's like a raccoon. Like, I don't necessarily know how to even classify this spirit, but it's a thing, and I'm gonna be honest, yeah, this is getting the good. Because I know y'all thought that beginnings parts 1 and 2 was a little weird, a little lackluster, and you didn't like how it eliminated a lot of the lore that was established in Avatar The Last Airbender. But this I spirit helped Avatar Wan shape up, and I thought it was just such a great two-part episode. And yeah, I spirit gets in the good category. Let's move on to my boy, Bolin. You can't tell me that Bolin is not great. The man is so good. In this season in particular, he's really good. Not only is he very funny, not only is he just growing as a character before our very eyes, I also think that Bolin provides the right amount of levity to help this season, especially in the second half. And also him as Nuktuk was just fantastic. I really was cracking up the entire time. But eventually at the end, when you start to realize that his character was really egotistical all season long, and then he gets back down to earth, and then that romance with Eska, I just bought into Bolin all season long. So I'm giving Bolin the great designation. It's my boy. Alrighty, now moving on to Bumi, the brother, dear brother to Tenzin. This is such a funny character, but in this season alone, I almost feel like Bumi proved that he's more than just comic relief, and he can really be established as a pretty solid character. Although, on the other side of things, it wasn't necessarily the most memorable performance in the grand scheme of everything. So if I had to think, guys, Bumi is... nah, he's still good. If it wasn't for Bumi, I think that vacation sequence with Kaya and Tenzin probably wouldn't have been as successful, so he still gets the good tier. Let's move on to the twins, Unalaq's crazy twins. Alrighty, so this is Desna. It's tough to tell, I know, but this is Desna, and Desna is one of those characters that, for me, not as memorable as Eska, and that's on purpose, because Eska is the love interest for Bolin and vice versa. But still, guys, do not be mad at me. I don't know if y'all like Desna too much, but Desna is going to be in the forgettable category. Just couldn't really buy into this character. Now moving on to Eska, totally different story. I thought Aubrey Plaza did an amazing job with this role, and I just think everything was so effective. I laughed, I cringed, and I was a little scared, not gonna lie to you guys. So, Eska, gonna get the good category. I'm not gonna try to sing anymore, I promise, but this good category is stacked right now. Alright, you're moving on to Tenzin's children. They're so wonderful. Ikki, Ikki, Ikki. She is so cool. Definitely a good character, but now that I think about it, I don't necessarily know if they propped up Ikki to be as important as Jinora. Jinora stole the show, and we'll get onto Jinora next. But for me, Ikki is one of those characters that, while I know she's important to the story and to, of course, Tenzin's motivations to, look after his family, and she's very important to Tenzin himself, I don't necessarily know if Ikki is that important to the story. Yeah, I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I'm putting Ikki in the decent category, right next to Aang. So we're getting right into Jinora. Jinora, this is one of those characters that I told you was excellent in book 1, and I liked her the most of all of Tenzin's kids. But what I will have to say is, I think we don't have to attribute her as just Tenzin's daughter anymore. Jinora is a main character in and of herself. She is so good. The way she can handle all of this emotional responsibility and helping Korra in that final battle was just breathtaking to witness. Her growth as a character is definitely important, I think, for the rest of the season, or I should say the series. But when it comes to book 3 and 4, I hope we see more of Jinora. So Jinora, for me, goes in the gray category, especially, like I said, in the context of this season. Next is Katara. Oh, Katara. Still love Katara so much. However, guys, was Katara that impactful? Sure, I think she motivated, Kaya, Bumi, and Tenzin to get together and go on this amazing vacation. But I don't know. Katara, for me, in this season, wasn't really as prominent as she was in book 1. Oh, you guys are going to get mad. Katara, my favorite character, and right next to Zuko for Avatar The Last Airbender. But in this season, they didn't really show her too much love. And when they did, was it as memorable? I don't know. Forgettable. Oh, gosh. All right, moving on to our leading lady, Korra. Guys, I don't know what it is about Korra, but I think that she surprised me the most in episode 1 because she was so against Tenzin, and I thought y'all were cool. But then Korra started to grow and grow and grow as the course of season 2 went on, and eventually by the end, I found out that Korra, I don't love her because she's just, our lead, but I love Korra because I can kind of relate to those internal struggles and everyone telling you what to do rather than you doing it yourself. And I love that so much about this character. And yes, she was so important in that final battle as well. Korra will never not be great, I think. So today we stand Korra. Yes, we do. Alrighty, moving on to Kaya. Oh, this was so good. Just like her brother Bumi, equally important in helping Tenzin get his head on straight, essentially. And I just love their dynamic. Without either of them, I don't think it's as fun. Tenzin's storyline, I mean. But all three of them together, amazing. Alright, moving on to Mako, that playboy. Oh, homie. Listen, I liked Mako in book 1. In book 2, he just annoyed me. Not the voice performance, just the character. The way they wrote Mako, again, love triangle, are you kidding me? Again, this weird subplot that they never really committed to, the cop angle, it just felt like it was there to service a continuation of the story. It wasn't necessarily an integral part of Mako himself. At no point did I actually feel like he was a cop. I mean, you had to tell me he's a cop for me to know he's a cop. He kind of acted the same. He was just, again, a playboy. His interaction with Asami, I'm like, boy, you make me so mad. But he still made me feel. So I think Mako still gets that decent tier. That might move around. I might have to change that, but so far right now, decent. And Meelo, here's one character I was super high on in book 1. I know you guys said you didn't like the fart jokes too much, but boy, this character made me laugh a lot in season 1. In season 2, though, definitely forgettable. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I'm not making you upset, but Meelo for me was just kind of there for a cute one-liner every now and then. But of the children that Tenzin has, Jinora was focused on the most, and Meelo is the odd man out here. So, Meelo, I'm sorry, I love you, buddy, but forgettable. And then there's Naga. Guys, I'm not saying that Naga was a character that I didn't care about, but this story, season 2, made us not really remember Naga even existed, and that really makes me sad. Naga is a character that is so integral with Korra, right? Korra and Naga go together like Aang and every animal that he ever had. Wow, now that I think about it. But just like Appa was to Avatar The Last Airbender, Naga is to Korra. However, did we really see too much of Naga? Not really. This is such a weird ranking, by the way, guys, because I'm starting to think that maybe some of these characters weren't really given too much shine. They're not bad characters, but it was just the writing here that, again, I did not like too much. I know I said it in my review, but Naga, in the grand scheme of things, just decent. Ugh, that hurts my heart because I love Naga, but I mean, did we see too much of Naga? Not really. And moving on to Oogi, guys, what happened in book 2? Did they just decide to ignore the animals here outside of the Eye spirit? Maybe they did. I mean, did you see too much of Oogi? Not really. Oogi is forgettable. No, I love the character so much. I love that air bison a ton, but it just didn't really do anything for me in this book. And then moving on to Pabu. Listen, Pabu's cute. I want one. I can probably fit 1 or 2 in my room. But I think Pabu suffered the same way Oogi did, which was being forgettable. Guys, I don't know what happened in book 2, but it's like the writers forgot that these animals were crucial to our main characters. I hope this doesn't make you mad, but this is surprising me at how many characters are in the forgettable tier. Moving on now to Pema. Pema is a cool character. Pema is not necessarily a memorable character, but Pema kept Tenzin grounded. And we saw a lot of Pema, especially in that second half of the season. So I'm going to be honest, because of that fact alone and her impact, I'm going to say decent. Okay, but very close to being forgettable, not gonna lie. Alrighty, who do we have next? We have, Raava. Oh, Raava. Y'all were going in on me liking both of those dynamics, Raava and Vaatu. But I understand both sides of the argument, I really do. But for me, Raava was definitely a very impactful character, especially not only for Avatar Wan, but for Korra. And because of that, because of her impact, because of this spirit and the important role it plays now in the legend of Korra, you gotta put Raava in the good category. I love it. I love the good versus evil angle. Alrighty, who do we got next? Oh, Senna. Okay, I don't know what the writers really are doing with Senna, to be honest with you. She comes and she goes. She's with Tonraq, and even when Tonraq isn't present, we don't necessarily hear about Senna too much. So I don't know what they're doing there, but I hope that they give her more shine. I don't think she's a bad character. I just think she's a little forgettable in this season. You guys are gonna get so mad at me. Oh, and there's the radio broadcaster. What's his name? I don't want to get it wrong. Shiro Shinobi. Whoever does the voice work for this character is legendary. I think that Shiro Shinobi is funny. Definitely timely, especially at the pro betting tournament in that site. But wonderful, wonderful work. Definitely memorable, which is cool. You can just remember this character. I mean, I am hearing his voice in my head right now. So I'm putting Shiro Shinobi in the decent category. He made that final showdown at the pro bending tournament really, really worth it when Nuktuk was fighting, or Bolin. But yeah, I loved it. Alrighty, now moving on to Tenzin. This is one character that they did a really great job of writing this season. I thought Tenzin had an amazing arc and had to learn that he isn't the spiritual guide that he once thought he was to Korra. He is now more of a teacher who needs teaching. He needs to learn. So at one point, I'm guessing he thought he was like the ultimate teacher, but not so fast. Tenzin had to humble himself, and then that moment in the Fog of Lost Souls again was excellent. So I'm putting Tenzin in the great category. Alrighty, we're getting closer and closer to that final 5, but before we get there, guys, Tonraq. Oh, Tonraq. He's better than his brother. He really is better than his brother. Because of the amount of importance that they put upon Tonraq and Unalaq, I'm going to have to say Tonraq, because he has an impact, goes into the decent category. I think he was in the forgettable tier in my book 1 ranking, but here he gets bumped up because I think he plays a bigger role. Now when it comes to Unalaq, don't think that this character is too convincing. I don't think the voice acting was necessarily as strong as some of the other characters in this book, and I kind of think that this character is a little two-dimensional. But that being said, guys, Unalaq still played a very crucial role, clearly, in book 2. So what I'm going to have to do with Unalaq, guys, I'm going to put Unalaq right next to his brother, giving him the decent category, because, again, the character is still impactful, but I didn't really think that the character was all that great. Okay, and who's next? Oh my gosh, Uncle Iroh. I'm so sorry I didn't get to react to episode 10 for you guys, but, I tell you, I almost cried at this scene. Oh, the feels. I'm getting sad. Let's try that again. Alrighty, so now we're moving on to Uncle Iroh. I'm still gonna cry. I tried to redo this take, but it's not happening. Uncle Iroh is a special character. he is clearly a cornerstone figure for the Avatar universe, not just for Avatar The Last Airbender. He's taught us so many values, and he's a special character in my heart, and I'm sure in yours as well if you're watching this. There was a great deal of joy I felt when I saw Uncle Iroh on screen. And because it is Uncle Iroh, and of course he has that reputation carried over from The Last Airbender. Maybe this is unpopular because he was only in maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but Uncle Iroh, great. Alrighty, moving on to Vaatu. At first, I thought Vaatu was going to be super generic, a totally generic antagonist, but Vaatu turned out to be a little sinister, and I love the voice work. The thing is, Vaatu. I still think Vaatu is got enough impact in this season to be in the good category. You know, I know you guys told me that you didn't love this relationship between Raava and Vaatu, but if it wasn't for that relationship, I don't think we get that special finale. That finale was fantastic, guys. So let's move on to Varrick, a character you all told me about. Actually, one of the real friends, a special real friend, Lorenzo, told me that Varrick was going to be amazing, and I believe Romano also mentioned Varrick was going to be great. But his relationship with Zhu Li and the rest of the gang, it's so excellent, guys. It's the right amount of comedy, but the right amount of dramatics as well. The way he just presents himself, so eccentric, larger than life personality, it just flowed so well in season 2 and picked up book 2 whenever I think it got into those low moments. So for me, if I had to rank Varrick, a character I had to grow to love, Varrick goes into the great category. Alrighty, we're in the final 2. Before I rank Avatar Wan, let me rank Zhu Li. Zhu Li is also a really good character, but they don't pay her too much mind, and unfortunately she's relegated to being the butt of many jokes for Varrick and those different comedy set pieces. So Zhu Li still, I think, is a good character. I don't know. I have this sinking feeling that Zhu Li, if they bring her back for book 3, she might just turn out to be a super important character. She's almost taken enough of this verbal abuse from Varrick that she's gonna grow up and think, you know what? I'm going to put my foot down and make something of myself outside of Varrick. I don't know. Just a prediction. Alrighty, so let's get into Avatar Wan. A lot of you said you didn't like it. A lot of you said you did. Me personally, I fall on the side that loves it. I thought that this story was great. Stephen Yeun did amazing with the voice of Avatar Wan. Him being the first Avatar makes a lot of sense. It's just a special 2-parter episode that Avatar Wan is a part of. And when I tell you guys, I felt all the feels when he was right next to that dragon doing the fire bending stuff and the dance, and you all told me that it was very similar to Avatar The Last Airbender when Aang and Prince Zuko were doing the fire bending dance with the dragon. It made a lot of sense. But Avatar Wan, clearly one of the standouts here. And I have to say, Avatar Wan, good? What are we feeling, guys? Good? Nah, come on now. Great. Avatar Wan is amazing. So there you have it, guys. This is what my rankings list looks like. I know I said I might change the whole Mako thing, and for as much flack as I think I give Mako this season, he's still a good character, right? So you know what? You want to do it, guys? Let's do it. Mako's going to the good category. Well, there you have it. Those are the final Book 2 tier rankings, in my opinion, for each of our major characters. They better do some justice to Oogi and Naga and Pabu next season, alright? I don't want them to play any games. These are our animals. Well, there you have it. That was so much fun, you guys. My rankings for all of our major characters in Book 2 Spirits. The Legend of Korra, I think, is setting itself up to have an amazing final 2 seasons, and like I said, I'm excited to bring you guys a reaction for every episode during Book 3 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That means tomorrow we're kicking off Book 3, the premiere episode, and yes, Thursday you're getting another reaction. Stay tuned to the channel as well, guys. Go ahead and hit that big red button below and subscribe and tap on the bell because I'm actually going to react to the Dune trailer for all you movie lovers out there. Dune is Denis Villeneuve's next movie, and I got some more reviews coming. I'm so excited for this, guys. If you haven't already, go ahead and get loud in the comments below and let me know your rankings. Who's in the good, who's in the great, who's in the decent, and who might be forgettable for you. Alrighty, guys. Well, I'm going to try to cool down. I think I had a couple hot takes in this video. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.